The glass slipped in my grip. Not enough to shatter, just enough to send out that sharp clink of ice against crystal. The sound cut through the music, the chatter, and the staged laughter bouncing around the hotel ballroom. My fingers tightened around the glass as I watched my wife, Claire, throw her head back in laughter at something her boss whispered in her ear. Then he looked at me. It wasn't casual. It wasn't a glance. It was intentional. A smirk that carried across the room, like a private message meant for me alone. In that moment, I realized this party wasn't just some company celebration. It was theater. And I couldn't tell if I was supposed to be the guest of honor or the fool. Claire had been at Redwood Financial for 5 years. I used to admire her drive. She climbed from assistant to team lead in what felt like no time, late nights, endless calls, emergency meetings. At least, that's what I believed. I trusted her. God help me, I trusted her. So when she begged me to attend the annual gala after years of going solo, I thought maybe she finally wanted me to step into her world. I dressed my best, plastered on a smile, shook hands with men who barely remember my name. But none of that mattered the second I saw the way she looked at him. Nathan Cole, her boss. He walked toward me like he owned the air itself. Tall, polished, radiating a kind of confidence that came not from work, but from entitlement. He reached out his hand, smirk still carved across his face. "You must be Daniel," he said, smooth voice carrying a hint of something sharper. "Yeah," I answered, gripping harder than I should. "And you're Nathan?" Neither of us let go right away. Claire appeared then, cheeks flushed, smile too bright. "Honey, I see you met Nathan." "Oh, we've met," Nathan replied, eyes still on me. "Not her, though. I've heard plenty about you." The room tilted. My heart pounded. Not from the champagne, but from the confirmation I didn't want. He wasn't introducing himself. He was mocking me, showing me. The rest of the night blurred into fake smiles, toasts, and conversations I couldn't recall. My blood boiled each time I saw them standing too close. Every casual touch, every brush of her hand against his arm. The little things most wouldn't notice, but a husband would. When the speeches ended and the dance floor opened, Nathan approached again, this time with 2 drinks. He handed one to Claire. "You've got a hell of a wife," he said casually. "She's the backbone of this company. I couldn't do it without her." I forced a thin smile. "Yeah, I know how hard she works." His grin stretched wider. "Oh, trust me, I know." The way he said it, layered with meaning, left no room for doubt. Claire froze. Her eyes darted between us. Guilt flashed across her face like lightning, brief, raw, undeniable. I didn't call her out. Not there. Not in a ballroom full of polished liars. I swallowed the bile rising in my throat and kept playing along. But every second, the truth dug deeper. We drove home in silence. The city lights smeared across the windows, but all I could see was her laughter reflected in his eyes. My grip on the steering wheel ached. Claire shifted, restless, knowing the storm was near. "You were quiet tonight," she finally said. I kept my eyes on the road. "Was I—" "Daniel, don't." My voice cracked sharp, harsher than I meant. "Don't you dare. You think I didn't notice? The way he looked at you. The way you let him." Her breath hitched. "It's not what you think." I let out a bitter laugh. That's exactly what every guilty person says. We said nothing else until we pulled into the driveway. She didn't get out. Instead, she stared at me, tears brimming. "Please," she whispered, "don't ruin this. He's just my boss." I turned to her, anger hardening into something darker. "No, Claire, he's not just your boss. He's a man you've been giving pieces of yourself to while I sat at home wondering why you were always too tired to even talk to me." The silence after that weighed more than any confession. She didn't deny it. She didn't fight. She just cried quietly, mascara streaking down her face. That silence told me everything. The days after suffocated me. She pretended, making breakfast, asking about my day. But I felt the canyon between us. Every smile was forced. Every touch an apology. I started digging. Phone logs, late-night emails, a sudden business trip. 2 months back, that didn't add up. The puzzle came together faster than I expected. hotel receipts, dinner reservations, and then the message that gutted me. Last night was perfect. Can't wait until it's just us. My hands shook as I read it. Rage flooded me, but beneath it was worse. Betrayal that hollowed me out. 3 nights later, I confronted her. She was in the kitchen, pouring wine, when I dropped the printed emails and receipts on the counter. Her face went pale. "Daniel," I stepped closer, my voice low, trembling. "How long?" She shook her head, covering her mouth. "How long, Claire?" Finally, she whispered, "Almost a year. A year. 12 months of lies. 12 months of me thinking she was mine while she belonged to him." I slammed my fist against the counter. She flinched. "Why wasn't I enough? Did you get bored?" Tears streamed down her face. "It wasn't like that." He made me feel seen, appreciated. And God, I don't even know anymore. Her words cut deeper than any blade. She didn't even know if she loved me anymore. The next day, I walked into Redwood Financial. Not reckless, not screaming, just steady, a folder under my arm. Security didn't stop me. I looked like I belonged. When I stepped into Nathan's office, he smiled like he'd been waiting. "Daniel," he said smoothly, "to what do I owe the pleasure?" I dropped the folder on his desk. "Emails, photos, copies of everything. You think you're untouchable?" My voice was calm, colder than I felt. "This ends now. You don't get to destroy my marriage and walk away clean." His smirk faltered. For the first time, I saw doubt in his eyes. "You release this," he said slowly, "and you'll wreck a career too." I leaned in, meeting his gaze. She rected herself. "I'm just making sure you go down with her." I didn't blow it all up that second. I let him sweat, let Claire beg, plead, try to stitch together what she'd already burned. But some ruins can't be rebuilt. A month later, I filed for divorce, left her with a house she valued so much, and took the one thing she didn't expect, myself. My pride, my dignity, and the certainty she'd never again see me as a man she could betray. As for Nathan, Redwood's board eventually caught wind. Companies don't like scandals involving married employees. His office was empty within weeks. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear her voice begging me not to give up on us. Sometimes, I wonder if I should have tried harder, forgiven her, saved what we built. But then I remember that night at the gala, the smirk, the whisper, the way she looked at him like I wasn't even there. And I know I wasn't a fool. They were, because in the end, I walked away whole, and they were left with nothing but ashes.